You gone, I'll be okay. I can dream the rest away. It's just a little touch of fate, it'll be okay. It sure takes its precious time, but it's got rise and so have I.
What is up, guys? It's me, Alpha Papa Novi, and welcome back to the channel. Now let's get right into it. This is going to be my PC build, the PC that I built to record BlooDBorne. And you're probably asking yourself, Alpha, BlooDBorne is only for the PS4. Or you're telling yourself that. Why in the world will you build a whole new system? There's an ambulance, by the way, going by. Like really loud. Anyways, you're probably telling yourself, why in the world will you build a new PC, Alpha, if BlooDBorne is only a exclusive? Like, you can only play it on the PS4. You cannot play it on the Xbox. You cannot play it on the PC. Why in the world will you build a whole new computer to record this game? Well, I kind of needed to upgrade my capture device. So I bought this capture device. I bought this like 3 months ago, somewhere around those lines, but it was not compatible with my motherboard. And my ex computer that now my son has is it had a 3770K and a 670 and a gigabyte motherboard and a 850 power supply. So I mean, it's a beefy computer. That computer I used for like 3 years. I built it like 3 years ago, I think. When the 3770K Ivy Bridge just came out, that's when I built it. But anyways, let's get right into it. And I already tried recording this video like 3 to 4 times, but each single time I end up with like a 30-minute video long. So what I'm thinking is that I'm gonna just make 2 parts of this. I'm gonna show you guys all the components in this video that I use, and the reason that I'm using like my Amazon thing, the parts that I order is because I don't have a camera, I don't have lighting equipment, like I don't have those big lamps, because I am a dude that records videos from his living room, so I don't have a studio. And I'm not about to buy those big old lights. I don't know. And I don't have a good camera. That's another thing. So what I'm going to do is in this video, we're going to go through the parts and everything. And then in the next video, I'll show you guys the resolution. I'll show you guys pictures of the computer and my ex computer. I'll take pictures and record it with like my Note 3 and upload a video like that. But I would have to take my computer off the desk and put it outside, because like I said, I have no good lighting in here. Anyways, let's get right into it. So the reason I built this computer to record BlooDBorne, and it's not only to record BlooDBorne, I can record any game that I want, obviously, is because my X capture card, which was an iVerMedia, but it was a PCIe, it went inside your computer. So that it still works. Like, I had that for the longest, but the thing is that the quality looks really bad. Like, the PS3 and Xbox 360 look amazing, but when you go record PS4, it looks really awful. It looks bad, and I was like, I can't upload this like this. So I'm gonna just and when I receive this, since this is not compatible with your motherboard, and pay attention whenever you buy this, if you buy this or you're looking for a capture device, this is amazing. This is really good. I do not use the built-in software to record. Like, I don't use this. Let me turn my PlayStation on so you guys can see. I do not use this. I don't hit record here to record my footage. I use Fraps. If I was to launch Fraps right now, it would like play right here, like the little icon will be right here, like the number, like 60, because I record at 60 FPS. That's the other reason that I can put it in full screen. I can put it like that. I can minimize it. That's the other reason that I bought this, because this can record at 60 FPS. So, and as you guys know it, now you can upload in 60 FPS into YouTube. So that's why I built this computer. Anyways, this video is going to be pretty long, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's get right into it. So here we go. Oh, I thought I'd point this out to you guys. If you live in the United States, or if you can buy it off Amazon, you should probably buy this chair. This chair is freaking $97, and I'll probably make a review on it. I always say I'm gonna review stuff and I never do it. I ordered it yesterday. I mean, like, how can I pass on this? Like, look at this beefy chair for $97. I paid $98, and there's $1. That's one thing about Amazon. Price go up, price goes down. I should have ordered it this color because it's the color of my desk, but oh well. I already ordered it black, so I'm gonna wait on that whenever it arrives. So now let's go to the first component that I bought, and a lot of the components that I bought are overkill. You can probably build this computer with like, I don't know, you can shave off like $200-$300 maybe, or even more or less. I have no clue. I just bought the best components that I could find. This is the RAM that I went with. It's 32 gigs, and I know it's overkill. There's no need to have 32 gigs in your computer or in your build, but the reason I went with 32 gigs is because in my last build, my last build is beast, but I cheaped out on a lot of things, like because when I was building it, like as you guys know it, I don't just wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna build a new computer. No, I like buy parts. I probably buy the motherboard first, the CPU, and the power supply. That's just to test it and make sure that everything works. So I save up enough money to buy those 3 parts together: motherboard, CPU, and power supply. If not, I would just use an extra power supply that I have, but most of the times I just go for those 3 things. So once I have those 3 things, I make sure it works, I put it away, and then whenever I have money, I go for the RAM and I go for the other things, SSD, whatever else that I need. Okay, so I went with this RAM, and I went with this cooler. And by the way, I got ripped off with this cooler. I'll show you guys how I got ripped off. I paid like $130, and when they had shipped it to me, the price dropped to $89, which I don't know what the hell is that all about. I was going to return it, but I was like, returning things, like when you buy it online and you want to return things, it's a hassle, and I just didn't want to go through it. So I just received it yesterday and installed it, and I called it a day. It's a pretty cool it's pretty cool. I mean, it does the job. It's not bad, but I could have got it for $89. So I kind of feel like I paid double for it, but whatever. I mean, that's what happens in Amazon. Prices go up, prices go down, and then you feel like you were robbed. But whatever. I just didn't want to like send it back and then fill out a form, wait for the guy to pick it up, and then wait for another one. BlooDBorne's about to come out in 14 days. I probably did have time, but I just didn't want to go through the pain or the hustle. Okay, well, the next part that we have is the power supply. And like I said, for the setup that I have, since I'm only running one graphic card, this is really overkill. Like it's too overkill. But like I said, on my last build, I kind of cheaped out on the components. And when I say I cheaped out, I mean I still bought them, but I bought like cheaper parts. Like instead of getting 1,000 watts, I got a 850, which is still good, but it wasn't like a crosshair or anything like that. My last computer doesn't have like crosshair, doesn't have crosshair RAM, and doesn't have pretty much it doesn't have this RAM. Pretty much it doesn't have this kind of power supply, but the thing works. I mean, it works for 3 years. I had no problems. It still cost me a lot of money to build it though, because the power supply I had before on my other build, which I'm going to show it to you guys. I'm going to record it on my next video. It's a 850, and I think it cost me like $130, somewhere around those lines. But it's a non-popular brand, so it's not like a popular, like Crosshair is really popular. Everybody buys Crosshairs. So this is the power supply that I have. It's a really nice power supply. If you're like not using the computer and you're just browsing the web, the fan turns off on its own, and whenever you're gaming, the fan will turn on. So that's like a cool feature, I guess, if you want a silent computer. Now we have the motherboard. You can literally get this motherboard from a different brand, like Gigabyte. You can get a different board from a different manufacturer that you'll save a lot more money. You can literally shave off at least $150. So you can get this motherboard, probably not $150, with the same features. Like you can get this motherboard with like all these USBs 3.0, same features for probably $200 to $150, especially since I'm not going to be running SLID, SLI, or Crossfire, because I have run Crossfire up to like, I don't know, I stopped running Crossfire or SLI like 4 months ago. It's just a big pain. There's a lot of games that are not compatible, and you just run into a lot of problems. And it's not worth it for the 1 or 2 games they work. It's not worth the headache. Like the headache that you get out of having 2 graphic cards on SLID or Crossfire, it's not worth it in my opinion. Some other people might argue that it's like the best and is amazing. I used it for like 8 years, but at the end of the day, it's just not for me. I'd rather have one and not have double the headache. But this is my motherboard. Like I said, you could get it. You could get like a gigabyte motherboard for like half of the price. They'll have the exact same features, but as you guys know, this is the best of Asus, so I went for the best. Like I said, on my X build I shipped out, even though this is my concept, okay? Do not cheap out on the motherboard or the CPU. Those two things don't cheap out on. The other components, like the power supply, you can probably cheap out, and later on in the future you can upgrade it, but do not cheap out on the motherboard or the CPU. That's the way I do it. I don't cheap out on the motherboard or the CPU, because my last build has a beast motherboard and has a beast CPU. It has a Intel Core i7-3770K Ivy bridge. There's some noise, by the way, like someone is vacuuming. Hopefully the mic don't pick that up. I always say like, oh, there's a jet going by, and then when I'm editing, I can't hear it. Anyways, so this is the motherboard, and then we have my Intel Core i7-4790K. I didn't went for the X99, which is the latest and greatest of Intel, because like I said, I've been building this computer for around 4 months now, 3 months, somewhere around those lines. So when I started building this computer, I thought about going X79, but the RAM was really expensive. Like the RAM was literally really expensive. Like 32 gigs is like $800, and that kind of threw me off. And I was gonna pay like, I don't know, $300 to $400 more, and it's not that much for performance. Like you do get a lot of performance if you're like if you're gonna use it for like editing, a lot of editing and all that, but for gaming you don't get that much gain. And since I'm gonna just pretty much be gaming and render and editing videos, but this is more than enough, guys. Like the other one is like overkill, like X79 or X99. I've been saying X79. X99 is pretty much overkill, and it would have cost me another $300 to $400. I could have probably built it, and I just chose not to. I never go for the latest and greatest, except for my last build. I went for the latest and greatest. The Ivy bridge just came out, and that's what I went with. There's a dog barking outside. I don't know, there's a lot of interruptions here in my house. But let's move on. So this is my CPU. I mean, it's a beast processor. I already compared it with my last processor. This one's a little better, not by much, because like I said, when you build a new computer, if you already have like a gaming top of the line computer, you're not going to gain much. So if I was to build a new computer of X99, I will gain like a little performance, but not much. I will gain some, but you don't gain much. Once you have like top of the line gaming PC, you'll gain some, but you won't gain that much. So it's like, I don't know, some people will argue and some people will be like, oh, I want the latest and greatest. I want the latest and greatest too, but I mean, $300 to $400, and to gain like a 5% boost of performance, I don't think it's worth it. But that's just my opinion though. Like I said, I could have probably built it X99, but I just chose to go with this, and I think this is just going to work perfectly fine. And now we have the graphic card. I went for the 970 because if you go for the 980, you don't get much out of it. You're getting a 5% boost increase, like 5%. So pretty much if you're playing Crysis and you're getting 60 FPS, you'll get 65 FPS if you go for the 980, and it's a really expensive freaking card. Not a really expensive, but it's more expensive. I think it's like $100 more. It was $100 more than this. So, and this performs around the same. So I mean, why is a no-brainer, right? Why would I buy a 980, pay $100 more for a 5% boost of increase of performance in my computer? Not worth it in my opinion. But hey, some people want the latest and greatest, so rock out, you know. But hey, if you're one of those guys that has the cheese and has the guap, and you can make it rain on Amazon, and you can just buy the latest and greatest, and hey, go on, you know, carry on, sir. Because I mean, if money is not an issue, when it comes down to building a computer, if money is not an issue, then hey, the possibilities are endless, right? If I'm saying that right. But let's move on, guys. And my X graphic card, the 670, is exactly like this one. It's exactly the same thing. It's just this is the 970. I had two cards before on my other computer. I had two 670s on SLI, but this time around I just went for one because, like I said, no, for the 2-3 games that support SLI, the headache is not worth it in my opinion. Let's move on. I already showed you guys this, and I already explained to you guys why that I bought this. Now the case, I wouldn't buy this case. I would not go for this case, because this case has USB 3.0 in the front, and it's pretty fucking stupid because you don't get a header for the motherboard. You pretty much get a fucking tail that goes around the back all the way to the back of your motherboard, and it plugs in on the USB ports of your motherboard. I don't know why they designed that or why they haven't upgraded it, because this is an old case. Not an old case, but obviously I bought it new. The design is pretty old. It looks badass though, it looks sweet. But the way that you got to do this is that you go through the back. Okay, so this is the USB 3.0 ports in the front. It has 2 of them, but it has a cord that goes all the way in the back, and you gotta put it back here, like, which is pretty stupid because I can just go get an adapter, an extension, and buy a like a USB hub and put it right next to me on my desk, right? So that fucking beats the purpose. There's a jet going by the way, because you gotta route it through the back and all the way to the back onto your motherboard, and it uses 2 ports from your motherboard instead of them going with the USB 3.0 header that you can just plug in here and have like a shitload more of USBs, another 2 on the front of the case. No, you have to route a tail that goes on the back of your freaking case. Other than that, it's a freaking sweet ass case. Mine was like kind of damaged from here. I didn't want to make a big deal. I could have called Crosshairs and make a big deal and be like, let me get a discount, but I just didn't want to deal with it. I don't know, guys. I'm an old fart, okay? I just don't want to fucking deal with things. Like, I just, you know, I want my peace. That's what I tell my wife when she's arguing. I'm like, I need my peace, girl. Can you leave me alone? I don't know. I'm just that kind of guy. You know, I don't want to sit there and argue with anybody. I just want to enjoy myself. I guess the older you get, the more you want to enjoy life, right? And the way to enjoy life is to like fuck off. Don't bother me. And like, if only because it had like a little, it was dented, steel dented, I could see it. Kind of bothers me because I bought it new. But hey, I don't want to sit there on the phone and be like, yeah, can I return this case? And then I have to put it in the box. I have to send it back. I have to, no, it's a lot of hustle. I would rather just keep it and try to ignore it, even though I'm the kind of guy that cannot ignore things. Like, I'm weird when it comes down to like computer components or expensive things like my car. I like gotta take good care of it because like every time I see that, it bothers me. But anyways, let's just move on, guys. Okay, guys, well, now let's add everything up and let's see how much this computer was. The case was $201, as you can see here. That's everything included. I paid through PayPal. And you're asking yourself, why didn't you buy the freaking case from Amazon? Because Amazon wanted it $400 for this case, and I wasn't about to pay no $400 for this case. I would have rather bought a different case, because last time in my other bill I paid $400 for the case, and then I was like, this was pretty stupid. Why did I pay so much money for a case? But at this point now, that after I bought this one, I was like, yeah, money well spent, because I love that other case. But anyways, let's go here and let's start adding everything up. I'm not going to include the chair, by the way, because I don't know, that's just like a treat for me that I bought this chair, because I've been sitting on a wooden chair for like 2 years. I don't know, I'm not like the kind of person that fucking goes off and spends money like a crazy dude, even if I have it. I don't know. You know, it's weird when I go like to McDonald's and I drive a Mercedes Benz, and by the way, it's just I'm just trying to tell you guys a little story, and I order like cheeseburgers, you know, or I go to Jack in the Box and I order like 2 tacos for $1. You know, I hit the dollar menu, but it's because I grew up eating that. You know, like since I was a little kid, I always hit the dollar menu, and now that I have a job and I can like buy a combo number 1, I choose not to. Like, I choose to buy fucking tacos, 2 tacos for $1, or like cheeseburgers or chicken sandwiches with their $1. You know, it's like, why am I gonna spend $12 or $8 on a combo when I can just get fucking 10 cheeseburgers for $10? You know what I mean? It just makes a lot of sense to me. So when I pull up and I'm like, I pull up in a Mercedes Benz, which is it's a really nice car. It looks really nice. And I'm like, can I get 5 cheeseburgers? Can I get 4 cheeseburgers? And that's it. And they're like, they look at me weird, especially girls are like, oh shit, this dude drives a Mercedes Benz and is fucking buying cheeseburgers. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you know, I can tell that they're like looking at me weird, and I'm like, I just think to myself, like, whatever, dude. I fucking grew up eating cheeseburgers. Like, what do you want me to do? I grew up doing that. Like, only because now I have a job and I can like probably go to a restaurant and spend a lot of money. I'm not gonna do that. That's crazy. I mean, maybe other people do it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do it. I don't. I'm not that kind of person. You know, I just don't. All right, guys. Well, now let's just add everything up to see how much the computer was, to see how much money I paid. Like I said, I didn't build this computer I didn't wake up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna build a computer. No, the way I always build a computer is that I buy it by parts. First I buy the motherboard, the CPU, and I take it from there, and slowly I build this. So this computer took me around 3 months to build, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I'm not gonna add the chair, I'm not gonna add hard drives. I'm gonna just add like the computer parts and the capture card that I bought, or the string cap U3, something like that. Okay, well, let's get right into this. This was 371, which is the freaking RAM. So with 371 plus 133, which was the water cooler, 133 plus, we'll go down here and then we'll add the power supply was 190, 190 plus the motherboard was 372, 372 plus I added the motherboard. The CPU was 326, 326 plus we have the GTX 970. How much was the 970? The 970 was 413, so plus 413 plus I think I need to add the capture card now. Yeah, the capture card was 196, 196 equals $2,001. Did I add the case? No, I haven't added the case. I think I need to add the case. I don't know. I didn't add the case, right? The case was $201. So we'll put plus 201 equals $202. That's how much I paid. That's how much this computer was. I'm not adding the hard drives, which is, I have a lot of hard drives. I'm not trying to show off, guys. I'm just trying to show you guys what I have here, what I'm going to be using for BlooDBorne. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was like 180. This one right here was 180. This was like 150. That's a SSD. And then I have all this 4. This one's I bought with my other bill, which is each one of these hard drives was $150 on my local store, and this was like 3 years ago. And this was like, I bought this one like I think 4 months ago, and I bought this like 4 months ago too. So I haven't had this too for that long. But this is all the hard drives I have to capture. This is for BlooDBorne. It's gonna be for BlooDBorne. This is Dark Souls 1. Like I have a lot of footage for Dark Souls 1, a lot. Like you can see the hard drive is like crowd is full. And when like this doing that because the hard drives auto turn off, like they'll go to sleep on their own. See, there it is. Like there's a lot of footage here for Dark Souls. And then I have Dark Souls 2, which I'm gonna probably delete that footage so I can use it. I can use this is Dark Souls 2. All this is Dark Souls 2. I'm gonna probably end up formatting this hard drive so I can use it for BlooDBorne, but I don't know yet. Or I might just take them out of the computer and just put them away, and I don't know, in the future maybe bring them out. But anyways, guys, this video went long enough. I think this video is probably 30 minutes long. I thought I could make it in 10 minutes. This is the 4th time I make this video, and it went forever. It feels like it went forever, and I know it went forever. It's at least it's more than 20 minutes, I am pretty sure. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys take care. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. Thank you for checking out my build for BlooDBorne. And as always, don't do anything bad. And Alpha Papa Novi will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.